What is going on, family? I hope all my fellow renegades out there are having a very nice day today. And I'm very excited today because we're going to check out their duo that he did with Chinchilla with chalk outlines. Everything that I have heard from Run thus far has been amazing. I was really impressed with the first song that I had heard from Chinchilla. And you guys said that they're cool, that they're homies, and why wouldn't I want to check out what they're doing together? You guys had mentioned to make sure to go with the live version on this one. So let's go ahead and check it out. I make sure I pay attention because there's always like a lot of Easter eggs and stuff in these videos that you guys point out afterwards that I miss. I know I'm going to miss 1,000 of them in this one probably too. I don't know enough. I don't know enough of the history. I'm going so out of order. Which one do you guys want me to do after this? Back to Money Game? What's he doing? What is he? Is he like looking for something? Oh, there's the chair that you guys keep saying. You know that the chairs is a thing. Okay, he's got the chair. Oh boy. I can tell this one's probably going to be a deep one already. Oh man, look at that thing. It's a nice guitar. I like that.
I'm still here in this bed that I crawled in. I hope that I'm someone else in the morning. So take this one, wash it down and you'll be fine. Walk around in the floating chalk outline.
Beautiful.
So it goes, let it be. In the gallows, balanced on my toes so I can breathe. But little by little, bit by bit, I push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, oh my, we trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my, erase ourselves in these chalk outlines.
Okay, before we get into what she's about to do here, because my God, that was just beautiful and absolutely just incredible, man. Like, again, he's playing like 2 chords, like just like a couple of notes, and he's taking this to a level. It never has to be complex in order to be something amazing and brilliant, because like this is a perfect example of that. There's very minimal lyrics here, but it just draws you in instantaneously. Like just even the chords you played, like you just starting it, it's just like, oh, you just know where it's about to take you, and just slow melody, like beautiful, hitting the falsettos, just everything about this is gorgeous. And I noticed the flickering light thing, which I feel like it's been kind of like a theme in a handful of the videos that I've seen. Really love that imagery and that overall, just like that kind of like tying that together from video to video of like that constant, like, you know, that constant battle, like he talks about. Like, I think I equated it kind of like, you know, the dark passenger, kind of like what, you know, what they equated to in Dexter, if you will. But it's not really the same thing as Dexter, but, you know, it's just a good name for it at the same time. It's just a cool name. But at the idea of like that pendulum swinging back and forth from, you know, light to dark, like Ren talked about in the High Ren video, like on that same overall subject, like I feel like that's what the overall representation of that is. Like those problems and those struggles, like, you know, they'll kind of always be there, but you got to learn to be comfortable with it and learn to be able to walk through those dark places, because you will get into the light eventually, and there will be those brighter days. You just got to be able to be comfortable in the dark and not let it scare you anymore. it is a part of who we are, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be like that for the rest of our lives. And it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be scared of or ashamed of who you are, and that's a part of you.
Sertraline and a sip of serotonin. Don't cry, 'cause there's a pill for everything.
Oh boy.
Take this one, wash it down and you'll be fine. The feeling goes and you draw a chalk outline. So it goes, let it be. In the gallows, I'm balanced on my toes so I can breathe. But little by little, bit by bit, I push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, oh my, we trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my, erase ourselves. It's such a perfect day. Take it just in case. Take it just in case.
Oh God.
Scared of being okay, 'cause all things change. All things change. It's such a perfect day. It's a beautiful shade. It's a beautiful shade.
Oh boy.
I'm
They
scared
gonna push the
of
tears on me
being
now.
okay, 'cause all things change. But little by little, bit by bit, I'll push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, we trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my, erase ourselves in these chalk outlines.
Oh my God! And the lights just fade out to black like that. Just what a powerful ending to this song. This overall, this song is gorgeous. It really is. And I hate to really kind of use that word to call it gorgeous because it's got such a serious subject matter really attached to it. When you have problems and you have like things that weigh you down and then things that are weighing on your mind, and you're going through a difficult time and you have difficult things that you're dealing with, like, you know, it makes me think about like how I think in this song it really translates a lot to how people will use vices to cover those things up. And you know, I'll just do a little, if only just for a little while, and just to cover it up with the new vice until I can find some other way to kind of suppress it down. And that's why, like, you know, it gets really emotional, like when they kind of get into that part there at the end when you're talking about like today's been a good day and I'm just going to take one just in case. It makes me think about just when you have the good days and when you're having those good days, when you struggle like this, and how hard it is to enjoy yourself, because like he even made a reference in there, because it's like, you know, how quickly things change and how like just like that, you don't feel like that anymore. And you go right back to kind of how you were. I feel like that a lot. I know exactly what that feels like. It's one of the worst things in the world when you just know that you're gonna fall off the high horse that you're like finally riding on, if that makes any sense, where you're just like, man, today has been the greatest day in the world, but I know that that could change at any second. And when you depending on the vices that you choose to use to get you through those tough times. There was once a point in time in my life where I felt like I more abused alcohol than enjoyed it. When I was in the military, it was probably really the only thing I could do to try to help suppress the issues that I was going through. But it didn't help anything. You know what I mean? All it did was just push it off and suppress it for another moment in time. It didn't help me face any of those problems. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't drink, because I drink now, and I drink every time that I do. I like to consider myself a happy drunk, to be honest. I like to consider myself a fun person to be around when I'm drinking. But the reasons why I choose to drink is what has changed in my life. And I didn't want to be a person that like had to depend on something like that. And it was the same thing when we talked about my struggle with just medication in general. I didn't want to be addicted to something and have to take something. And unfortunately, pills are probably the most dangerous thing that I think that I have ever really encountered in my life when it came to almost every story that I had about somebody that was a shell of the person they used to be, broken homes, all those kinds of things. It happens with all kinds of different things, but pills in general and just some pharmaceutical drugs we'll just put it that way. There's a big problem with people getting the wrong kinds of drugs and the wrong thing happening. And you think that it's going to be okay, because I take one of these all the time, and then one time you get the wrong one, and it's over. It's over. They're dead. And it happens so fast, and it doesn't change the world at all. We have a moment in time when we stop and we think about that person, that artist. It happens to artists all the time. All the time. Far, far, far too frequently. I don't even want to kind of go down the path of trying to even remember everybody that this has happened to. But in a lot of ways, this song just kind of is like an overall message of like the ways that we can just slowly kill ourselves. You know, when I was in the military, I used to like smoke like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, man. Chain smoking fool. It's not very funny, but I was also in the worst time of my life when people used to try to tell me that, like, those things are going to kill you. I used to tell them I hope they do. And I would never say anything like that now. But at that time, I really felt that way. But it wasn't right for me to say that to somebody. It wasn't right for me to do that in the first place. But at the same time, it's not really their right to tell me that smoke is going to kill me either. I know that, and so do you. And, you're just being rude in the first place. But on behalf of the smoking community, we know it's bad for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously bad for us. I know that was probably a little mean. I'm not sure if this song like originally featured Chinchilla on it, or if it's just like this live version video that has her on here as well. But I have to say, her nails are super sick. I love like her ring swag. And my God, like, did she kill this as just as well as Ren did in many ways, where she adds so much of an effect to this overall song that this duet is just something extraordinary. And, Ren, obviously, we've talked about him a handful of times. This is the first time I've seen Chinchilla do anything live. But Ren, like, is fantastic. Perfection at a live level. When it's supposed to sound like that, that's what he does, and she does the same thing. The way she kind of like puts her voice back and like lets it echo off the walls, like in certain points of the song, just to kind of like make sure the sound was kind of coming away. Even though the first song I had heard from her was more like on the pop side, this really showed me that this is an artist. You know what I mean? Like that's what I kind of feel like I saw. And the first thing from her is like, she's not just a pop star. Like I'm not seeing that. I feel like there is more here, and that's exactly what I saw here. Definitely will need to continue to deep dive on both of these artists. I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to let me know what the next song from both of these artists I should check out is. I definitely will need to continue to deep dive on both of these artists. I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure to let me know what the next song from both of these artists I should check out is. And if you have not joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you. Until next time, I appreciate you for watching.